Hey guys, Rumblysuperset here, back again doing another gameplay analysis, this time of Lance Rome. Gonna be playing with Bladeheart here, as well as Bruticus, aka Incarnation. So, generally when I play with these guys, I go Rome myself, simply because they're better at carrying. So, I have been practicing a little bit with Rome. Now, I'm not a Rome main, quote unquote, but I have been improving a little bit, so I wanted to do a video here for you today, just talking about Lance in general and what I do as far as roaming with him. So you can see here we banned the typical bans, Lyra, Taka. They went Finn first, so of course we're going to grab Lance. It's like the 1-2. If you get one, they get the other. Same thing with like a... If Lyra and Taka is never banned, then they're generally picked. Otherwise, it's probably either a Vox or something else that's pretty strong, like a Kestrel. They are going Glaive. On top of that, we did pick Sky, so there's the Kestrel. Incarnation, he was just kind of messing around with the weapon power art in there. He wanted to do it, and I was just like, do it, go for it, bro. But they ended up going something else here. Let's see. I think he actually went Vox, if I'm correct. Yeah. He went to the last second. Oh yeah, I remember that situation. Like he was asking Bladeheart, it's like, who do you think I should go? And Bladeheart's like just talking, and he's like, and then finally gave him an answer at the second when it was almost over. Alright, and we're almost off here. So it looks like we have the TIPG guild. I don't know what that stands for. We have Juarez 451, Hadoken 14, and Beast PH. Along with myself, Bladeheart, and again, Bruticus. We also have some big news coming as far as our team. We did end up losing our Rome Golden Lights. But we are and have found a replacement, and it is one hell of a replacement. So we're pretty excited about it. He'll be playing not this coming Monday, but the following week. He'll be playing in the VIS Pro League, so that'll be pretty fun. Hopefully next season will perform really well too, given that he's an addition to the team. But anyways, let's talk about what I built first. So of course I go with the potion and the flare just because it's pretty standard. But I do go with the weapon blade first. The reason being is because the aggression on Lance, especially with weapon power, on his A is nasty. Like the damage is real. Like no joke. So I actually landed the A there. He took a lot of damage. Oh my god, that damage is nasty. But Finn did land a quibble on us. So far the Kestrel hasn't rotated. I'm going to go ahead and do another A. Woo! Pick up the glaive, and then the Finn's gonna go down as well here momentarily. Almost getting the Kestrel. She's really low. I'm gonna see if I can kind of stick around and poke her. She's been sticking around that bottom end of the turrets throughout the game, so or at least she does. And so I was trying to make sure I can come up and be aggressive because of it, but I also wanted to make sure that if I rotate down to Brute, he'll be safe. So I go down. I hold him at bay, keeping him stunned or whatnot. Bladeheart is rotated, so this is beneficial for us. Because right now it's technically a 2v3, although Kestrel is nearby. Unfortunately, I didn't predict the glaive really well, and I didn't predict him going to be afterburning right there either. Here's where it's nasty, because I could die potentially right here too. So me and Bruticus or Incarnation have to back out. Bladeheart is trying to disengage, but at this point in time, he is being chased to the end of the world. And eventually, he's going to get taken out. But luckily, he prolongs the Kestrel as well. So he's not losing a lot of farm compared to the Kestrel. The Kestrel should have just left Bladeheart to Glaive and Finn, but she didn't. So that's good for us. So here we are going up the lane, just in case I need to hold it off, or if you can get this Kestrel. Bam! That combo, dude, just the A and then the shredding from Sky is nasty. Guys, if I'm talking or slurring my words, I did bite my tongue yesterday. It's just one thing after the other. So I bit my tongue, and it's not awesome, but I have to deal with it. All right, so again, I pick up another weapon blade. I only go 2 weapon blades. I don't build into anything outside of that as far as offensive items. I just go purely defense after the 2 weapon blades. I start off with the renewal. As a roam, in general, I would say 99% of the time, you want to go renewal first, and preferably you want to have it as early as possible. So, I mean, if you really want it really early, that's a lot of reallys, then you would not get the weapon blades, but it's doing us really good because the damage, as you saw on Kestrel, and just in general so far, has really helped with being on top and winning team fights. Not saying I'm all the damage, but that little extra push from the roam also helps. That one I was actually hoping Kestrel will come down. That's Bladeheart called me out on that one. We're actually on comms on this, but I didn't record it because Bladeheart had a lot of mic issues, meaning there's a lot of ambient hissing noise, and I didn't want to deal with that, so I was just like, I'll just record the gameplay and then voice over it. All right, so we're going for a couple of scout traps, maybe? No, it looks like we're just going straight for the renewal again. Getting that light shield going. I generally go the life spring first, that path first, just because it's great to keep me topped off on health in the early game. I don't ever go shields first, really ever. It's always life spring. So keep that in mind. Build path is important. I did get him. That was nice. Not going to be able to do anything about that. I did waste my boots, but I was hoping I can get in front of him and knock him against the wall, but it didn't turn out I could do that. Another big chunk of health on that Kestrel, though. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically babysitting the lane. I want to let my Sky solo farm. The reason being is if she's not having difficulty, or it's a he, it's Bruticus, but if he's not having difficulty in jungle, and he's on top of things, and he's stronger than the enemy jungler especially, it's all the more reason to let him solo farm because he gets more experience and can level up faster than the enemy jungler. And so I go to lane, and I get a lot of gold there as well, so it does help with leveling up the roamer as well. But the downside with babysitting lane is you are taking some of that experience from your laner, but it's generally not that bad as far as the gold exchange for that. This was really close. I was like, the minion! That was so close, dude. Alright, so we're coming down. Looks like Bruticus already cleared the jungle, so we're just going to go ahead and rotate to shop potentially here. Bladeheart's going to stay in lane and just keep clearing that. I'm already regenning quite a bit. I got the renewal now. Looking to see if there's any enemies in the brush. Getting flares is pretty important. I tend to forget sometimes, but I've gotten better with buying them because they are, like I said, really important. We couldn't quite get him, but then this guy did end up using her mobility to get in a position where she could pick up the Kestrel, so that was awesome. Now we're kind of just like harassing the the lane here. I did try to get Glaive, but I completely missed. Like I said, I'm not the perfect Lance, but I have learned a lot from like watching Nox Fox or playing with Ben Tim, or just seeing some of the high-level roams play in like VGL or whatever it may be. That was an amazing A, Rumbly. Hey, I'm just trying to contribute where I can. Went ahead and renewed this guy. A lot of times I've been told, and other Romans have been told this, is that when in doubt, just cast it. If you're not sure if you should cast it, that probably means you probably should cast it. In most situations, especially if they're still in combat. It's better safe than sorry, is the saying. Because, if you take that risk and you're late, I mean, unless you're really good at it, but if you're not like you're so refined where you can time that renewal perfectly, it's better you cast it than not cast it at all and have your teammate die. So keep that in mind. If you're not like that proficient as a roam and you're learning it, just cast the renewal when in doubt. If they have anything between half health or lower, cast it. Because by the time it does activate, they're going to be even less than half health. So if they're in a fight. Granted, if you guys are going to get away and it's obvious, then don't cast it. But, you know, if you are in a fight and you're indecisive if you should use it, just use it. All right, so what are we building so far? So we're going for an we're going for an Atlas Bulgin for the glaive. I don't know. I had a lot of issues with getting it off on the glaive just because of glaive's mobility, or just, I don't know, maybe my lack of experience with Lance's mobility. Again, I'm still learning Roam, guys, so keep in mind that you're going to see a few things here and there that I do, but the whole point of this video is to teach you guys what I know and hopefully see some of the mistakes that I make myself so that we all can improve. But I definitely say my Roam has improved dramatically since way back in the day. Here's where I was like trying to go toe-to-toe with the caster. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get this. And I was like, I'm outie. And I think he does get me too. Yeah. I was really trying because like they were cheering me on too, like, you got this, Rumbly, you got this. So, you know, peer pressure. I'm just like, okay, I got this, guys. But yeah, unfortunately I didn't have it, so that kind of sucked. Bladeheart is trying out of his life to survive, but of course his Roam died, so what else can he do? I could have reused a renewal though, I guess, right? See, that's one mistake I think I saw I made, was not use the renewal myself. Even though generally you don't want to use it on yourself, in that situation, it may have been better that I did. I don't know. All right, so we're just gonna go. Where are we going? We're going back to shop. It looks like. I guess we're not getting anything. What am I doing? What are you doing, Rumbly? What are you doing? Oh, I was getting some flares, maybe. All right. Oh, looks like Kestrel is in lane. Vox is having to reposition. Didn't get the Kestrel, unfortunately. Looks like Bruticus wants to engage, wants to be aggressive, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Start pushing the lane, get the turrets pressured. A lot of times, if they're sitting in jungle a lot and they're not being aggressive, a lot of times you can actually just push lane and get a lot of free damage. So like right now, they're in jungle and we're getting a ton of free damage on this turret. Just do a 3-man push on lane, especially when they're all in jungle and they're expecting you're going to engage on them. Just push the lane real fast and get that objective and you're good to go. Look at that block though by Bladeheart. And I got the Kestrel there, I think. Well, I'm pretty sure I did. Trying to escape here. This is looking, it's looking pretty scary. Gonna cast that renewal. Everybody does survive so far. I took the shot, okay. It's better me than them. Everybody survives, whew. So we got a turret and we all survived. Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to go back because there's no point in me just sticking around not shopping, so we're going to go ahead and get our Atlas Bulgin. And then, what am I building here? Oh, I sold the Weapon Blade now to make room for a Crucible. That, or maybe Warhorn, or the War Treads. One of the two. It depends on the situation. If we're doing really good, then I would say normally I would just go the War Treads. But the grabs are what I'm worried about too, from Finn, so getting a Crucible for that is really nice too. Here's kind of where I kind of let my team down. So this is one thing you probably shouldn't do. It's like I went ahead and engaged, and then I didn't backtrack to my teammates who were fighting a bit further behind me. I maintained my pressure on Kestrel and on Finn. Just keeping them like busy, and that actually cost the Bladeheart his life. So I felt like I could have handled that one a little bit better. Could have fallen back to my teammates, protected them to the best of my ability, and made that even better with, you know, no losses on our side and 2 on theirs. I think it was 2, right? I don't know. So you're gonna see here, I use flares a lot. A lot of things I see, like a lot, is people face checking without any sort of vision, whether it's scout traps or flares. I am a flare guy. What was that, Rumbly? I am gonna call myself out right there. What was that? All right, some of my newbiness is coming out here, but we're doing okay. We're just going to use the renewal now because I wanted to make sure that they didn't get bursted down. But luckily we got an ace. So like I said, that was a situation where I was like, you know what? I'm not sure if I should use the renewal, so I'm going to use it now just because. And it may or may not have been the best point, but at least I got it off and didn't like cause my allies to die, or at least the potential to die. Not saying I prevented it, but there was always that chance. And as I'm not a really efficient roam per se, I wanted to make sure that, you know, we were in fact going to survive. And we get the ace once again. So what was I going to say? Oh yeah, vision and face checking. So even if you're a roam, it's highly advisable that you get flares to check brushes, not face check. Because even if you're a roam, a lot of times they have like a lot of high damage CP output, or just a, you know, high weapon power with armor shred. They can burn through a roam really easy. Here's where we kind of throw a little bit. We got a little confident and we're messing around. We thought we were gonna be able to take him out, but we weren't able to. We got a little confident, I admit. So we did throw a little bit there. We were even saying like, you know, dude, we hella through. But it's okay. There's no need to be serious. Even in ranked matches, sometimes it's okay to have a little fun. All right. Because in the end, it's just a video game, right? All right, so I'm looking at the clockwork. I really want cooldown, so I'm gonna grab the chronograph. I don't really care for the energy since I'm, you know, not energy based. I'm, what is it, rage based, right? No, I'm stamina based. I don't know what the hell Lance has. I'm yellow bar. Played or Bruticus. You just text the region. There we are, stocking up on flares once again. Want to make sure that I'm not face checking, that everybody is aware of what's happening in the brushes. We're going to go ahead and get the Kraken. We have no idea where they are, so we're going to go ahead and stay on the side of their base as far as the tri-brush, so that if they do come by, we can see them. You never want to take Kraken without having vision in the brush on the enemy side. Well, at least that's my opinion. I don't know if that's completely true, but I'm like 99% sure you want vision. Because the last thing you want is you don't want them to come down without you even knowing and steal a Kraken, or just, you know, look for the weakest person, burst them down. Now it's a 2v3. The Kraken's still wailing on you, and they turn it around and get the Kraken in an ace. I hate those moments. So here I was trying to get the Atlas on the Glade, but he had to burn away. As you said, if I said before, like the Atlas, I had a hard time this match. It's something I'm still practicing with for high mobile heroes. Here's where that hurts because, Jesus. I got the renewal out in time too. Oh my God. Just barely. And I got the roots. Yes. Yeah. There we go. And so there's the game. So again, like I still have practice to improve, or not practice, I still have room to improve, just like everybody else. But I feel like there's a certain things in this match that I did really well. Just the renewals for the most parts, except for one on myself, were pretty good. Give or take. The effectiveness of it can vary, but they weren't too bad. But yeah, so I went the Crucible, Renewal, War Treads, going towards the clockwork, had an Atlas Pauldron, probably would have finished off with, maybe if I felt confident enough, some weapon power offensive items. Maybe a, I wouldn't know if this is what's recommended, but maybe a breaking point, or possibly just a sorrow. I don't know. But yeah, so there you go. hopefully you guys enjoy the Lance analysis video. I tried to explain as much as I could for you guys and why I was doing it, and hopefully you guys learned a little bit, and hopefully I learned a little bit about what I did that was wrong as well. So again, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Later!